So, what is a cynic? That is a question that Cecil Graham, in Oscar Wilde's play, Lady Windermere's Fan, asked. And the well-known answer by Lord Darlington was, a cynic is a man that knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. Now, I don't know where that leaves us, because I dare to say that we actually know the price of nothing. So why is that the case? How come? Because our pricing system is an anachronism, a misfit. It's a slate of clay in a time of tablets and smartphones. Our pricing system was developed in a time when money traveled by stagecoach, and information by courier pigeon, and global contracts by boat. So in that time, probably our pricing system of supply and demand, very simple, was the best thing around. But probably that cannot be said anymore in a time when information and money and contracts travel by the speed of light. Because the world has changed. Currently, our growth is meeting the planetary boundaries. And technology has changed. Think of big data, the internet, GPS. And business has changed. Business is now a driving force shaping the world. And fortunately, an increasing number of businesses take that responsibility serious. But what hasn't changed? Our pricing system. And for some time, our pricing system has been squeaking under its own weight, searching for a better alternative. And now such a better alternative is available, true pricing, which is a very old idea made possible by new technologies. So now you may wonder, what is the fuss about? What is the problem? Well, the problem is massive market failure. Global warming, soil degradation, deforestation, scarce water, depletion of minerals, underpayment, child labor, forced labor, imploding factories in Bangladesh. So these are all the results of business activity gone awry. And the reason is that all these activities are not part of our nice pricing system. Because that pricing system works wonderfully in delivering products, balancing supply and demand. But what's not included in market transaction are the effects of those transactions outside of the market, but still within society. For instance, if you drink a cup of coffee, and I think some of you have, in the making of that coffee, CO2 was emitted, leading to global warming, and the effects of those were not paid by us. Water was used, some of that scarce, depleting the water for the people locally, and well, we didn't pay for that, they will pay for that. And probably in some countries the wages were too low, leading to underpayment, and again, we are not paying for that. So we're not paying the true price of our products. What am I saying? We don't even know that. So, what to be done? Well, quite simple. We have to measure those true prices, show them, and then improve them. And then at this point, I hope you're asking, so what exactly is that true price? And let me see if I can get that on the screen. So the true price is the retail price, so what you pay in the store, plus the social costs that you have not paid for, plus the environmental costs that you have not paid for. And then the true price gap are the social and environmental costs. Now, if a product has a gap of 0 and the retail price is the same as the true price, then the product is fully sustainable. So that means that if we would manage to pay the true price for all of our products, our economy would be wholly sustainable. So then the question is, how can we actually, how will showing the true price benefit society? How will that work? Well, as you can think, if we show the true price, that enables market players to take those decisions that lead to sustainable products. If you're a consumer, you can choose that product that has the best true price. If you're a producer, you can choose those innovations that decrease your true price. And if you're a government agency, you can make those policies that stimulate lower true prices. Then why is this feasible? Because it sounds, of course, quite ambitious. Well, for two reasons. First, nowadays it is possible. The cost of information have gone down so much in the last 50 years that it's possible to gather all the information across the world to calculate such a true price. 30 years ago, that wouldn't be possible. Second, it is affordable. Because many people think if we're going to pay the true price, things will become very expensive. But our goal is not to increase the retail price to the true price, but rather bring the true price down as much as possible to the retail price. And in fact, in many cases, it is possible to not increase the retail price by that much, or even at all, for four reasons. First, efficiency. Markets can become quite a lot more efficient. Second, prevention is cheaper than curing. Preventing negative externalities is much cheaper than remedying them afterwards or paying for them afterwards. Third, innovation. If there's demand for something, we're a very innovative species and we can make and think of ways to do things better. For instance, energy prices of sustainable energy have gone down a lot in the past years. And finally, if you look at the price distribution in a supply chain, whereas most of the negative impact happens at the beginning, on a farm, in a mine, actually in your product in the store, the kilograms of raw material are very little. So actually, and the margins are very high. So even if the externalities are very large on a farm level, they're quite small in a price level on the supermarket. So to give you an example, we did, together with an NGO, HIVOS, we looked at the true price of a rose from Kenya. A Thai hybrid rose that you buy at a florist. And we also went there to the region, Lake Naivasha. And of course, the starting point is how expensive is such a rose at a store? On average, it's like 70 cents. And then we found out that the true price of a Kenyan rose was 92 cents. Because on top of the 70 cents, there was 15 cents of environmental costs and 7 cents of social costs. And what did these external costs consist of? Well, as you can see here, the most important external costs were unrenewable energy use, mainly used in transporting by plane the roses from Kenya to Europe. And the second was underpayment. So the employees were underpaid quite a lot, or are underpaid quite a lot. And there are many other factors, but they're relatively smaller. So if we want to have an impact, those are the things we have to target. And another outcome of the study was that to go from the true price that we have now, and then by implementing innovation that is already existing and a couple of early phase innovation, and by increasing the price by 1 cent, we can decrease the external costs by 80%. Of course, it's not easy to implement innovation and change supply chains, but it shows that it's actually quite possible. So, then I would like to go to the second part of the characterization of a cynic, the value of nothing. So do we know actually the value of things? And again, I dare to say we do not, for a very similar reason that we do not know the costs. Prices and profits are actually a very incomplete measure of the value of products to us, or the value of companies to society, because of market failure like positive externalities, asymmetric information between buyer and producer, monopoly power, and also due to very large differences in income, so that the needs of those who have little money count much less in the market than those who have a lot. So, for a consumer, this is much less of a concern, because you know quite well what the value is of most products to you. But even then, there are quite some hidden parts to products that you would like to know, like what are the health effects of different products to me, what are the true effects for me. And also, as you like to know the costs, the hidden costs to society of the brands that you buy, you may also be interested as a consumer in the hidden benefits of the brands. And you want to stimulate those brands that you think they're doing well. But for companies, this is a crucial point, because the profit that they make, like the single thing that you focus most on, is a very bad measure of the actual value you create to society. So if you want to create value to society as a company, be it a small company or a large company, and if you want to ensure your continuity, because if you're not providing value for society in the long term, you will have very little reason to exist, then you have to measure your positive and your negative impacts. So I'm very excited by this, because I think that true price on the one hand and true value on the other can form the basis of an economy that works for everybody, that provides well-being to all, present and future. Now then, the remaining point is, we've seen it is feasible, but why will it actually happen? And the reason for that is that it provides a very, very good value proposition that is very hard to ignore. So for society as a whole, if we can internalize all the externalities, that has massive benefits. And they're growing every year. Every year our resources are becoming scarcer. And the cost of internalizing externalities becomes cheaper every year as the cost of information becomes cheaper. If we manage to internalize those externalities, negative and positive, we can solve all the sustainability problems that there are. And to internalize the externalities, well, then you need to know the true prices of things. You need to know the true value. So in the end, the benefits to society, the public benefits, will become so much larger than the private cost, the private interest to those who oppose it, that it will come. So it's a no-brainer. But then, what's even more interesting is that to individuals, so to me, to you, it makes an offer you can't refuse. Because true pricing allows you to choose those products that make you happy and that are also good for the world. So if you're a consumer, you can choose those products that you like and that have the lowest true price. If you work at a company, you want to do good things, but you also want to earn your own income to support your family, and then you can combine those two goals. And then research shows that the minority of people, they're cynics, they want to have the lowest price, the highest profit, regardless of everything else. There's another minority that are altruists, or in Oscar Wilde's terms, sentimentalists, that will buy the best products for the world, regardless of the price. But the majority, the vast majority of us, they would like to buy products that are good for them, at an affordable price, and also do a good thing for society. And that is what is made possible by true pricing. So if you're going to buy your rose, your Valentine, a rose, wouldn't you prefer to buy a rose that was made in a good way over a rose that was made with underpayment and with health and safety issues and with pollution? So the majority of us are not cynics. We're also not sentimentalists. We want to know the price and the value of things, the true price and their true value. Thank you.